When you practice your presentation, what exactly should you be practicing? Hi, this is Gilda Bonanno, professional speaker and executive presentation skills coach. I've talked often about how important it is for people to practice their presentations. And that's the number one mistake I see presenters make is not practicing enough. So what exactly should you practice when you're practicing? A couple of things. First, you want to practice your introduction, your opening. What are the first words out of your mouth? Especially if you're nervous, those first few words can set you up for success or not. Because when you're nervous, you might come out with a lot of ums and ahs. You might be very quiet when you speak, not as loud, not as engaging. So if you practice your opening, you'll be comfortable with the first few seconds. What's the first thing you say? And it shouldn't be a long list of thank yous and good mornings and how's the weather and how was the parking. You want to capture people's attention as quickly as you can. So a startling statistic or an interesting question or jump right into your content. Practice that rather than some kind of long-winded, rambling preamble. So first, practice your introduction. You also want to practice your transitions. How will you get from section to section, slide to slide? Often, the transition ends up being, now, that's not effective. So practicing a simple transition. We've looked at Q2, now let's look at Q3. Or that was the client feedback from these kind of clients. Now let's look at these client feedback statements. All right, so just a simple sentence to carry from here to here that connects this in the audience's mind so they know where we are. They understand where you are in the presentation and what comes next and how it relates to what you just said. The third thing you want to practice is your conclusion. What's the last thing you're going to say? It should involve a restatement of your message, what's the point of this presentation, and a call to action. You never want to just leave the audience. You always want to have a call to action. It could be as simple as remember this, or it could be an action you actually want them to take. Go off and do this. The next time you log in, do this, or the next person you see, try this, or the next client you're working with, do this. A very clear call to action is the last thing that they hear and what they're most likely to remember. The final thing you want to be practicing is all of the logistics. That could be practicing using a microphone or the clicker if those are new tools for you, or practicing standing up, or practicing using notes if you're going to have them in one hand, or if you're going to have them on a lectern, right? Practice anything environmental or logistical. If you're presenting on Zoom, practicing with Zoom, figuring out anything in the space that could get in the way, that could interfere with your ability to communicate effectively. If you practice all of these aspects, all of these elements, then when you're actually delivering the presentation, you're more likely to have an impact because you're prepared, you're ready, you thought about the first and last thing you're going to say, how you're going to get from section to section, and what in the environment can trip you up. So you're better prepared, you're more able to connect, be engaging, have the impact you want, and leave the audience remembering you and your call to action. This is Gilda Bonanno. Thanks for watching and subscribing. See you next time.